wanted a normal life. Everyone I've ever cared about, they don't remember me. Maybe that's a good thing. But when everyone forgets who you are...
All units, we have an armored vehicle.
Maybe it's time for a fresh start.
Everyone is waiting for the trailer. Everyone wants the villains, the cameos, the big reveals. But Spider-Man, Brand New Day isn't about what shows up on screen. It's about what doesn't. Because for the first time in the MCU, Spider-Man isn't fighting to become a hero. He's fighting to remain human. And that logic changes everything we think we know about Peter Parker. At the end of Spider-Man, No Way Home, Peter Parker makes the most selfless decision of his life. He lets the world forget him. Not Spider-Man, Peter. That distinction is a foundation for everything coming next. Spider-Man still exists in the public consciousness. He is a symbol, a vigilante, a hero, but the person underneath no longer has a footprint. No social security number, no school records, no shared history with a single living soul. This isn't just a fresh start. It's a narrative fracture. And Brand New Day is a study of what happens when you take a character built on connection and strip away every single thread. The title Brand New Day carries a specific weight in Marvel history, but in the context of the MCU, it's almost clinical. Peter isn't starting over with optimism. He's starting over with a void. In his previous trilogy, Peter always had a safety net. Tony Stark, Aunt May, Happy Hogan, the Avengers. Even when he was homeless or on the run, someone knew his name. Now, for the first time, the safety net is gone. There is no one to call when the suit is torn. No one to talk to when the guilt becomes unbearable. He isn't rebuilding a life. He is surviving the consequences of his own heroism. If you value this kind of deep dive analysis into the logic of the MCU beyond just the surface level leaks, hit the subscribe button. CineLogic is where we break down the why behind the stories we love. A lot of the conversation around this film centers on it being street level. But most people define street level as smaller villains. That is a misunderstanding of the logic. Street level isn't about the scale of the threat. It's about the frequency of the pressure. When you fight an alien invasion, it's a singular event. When you fight the streets, the pressure never stops. It is an endless cycle of muggings, drug rings, and local corruption. For Peter Parker, who has no emotional outlet at home, this cycle becomes addictive. And that's where the story gets dark. If Peter has no life as Peter, he will spend 24 hours a day as Spider-Man. He becomes a ghost in a mask. There are recurring rumors about Peter becoming more spider than man. Whether that's a literal mutation or a psychological one, the logic remains the same. Spider-Man has always been a balance. The spider provides a power. The man provides a morality. But morality is sustained by relationships. It's sustained by MJ, by Ned, by the people who remind Peter why he cares about the world. Without them, the man side of the equation starts to atrophy. He becomes more efficient, more brutal, more objective. He stops being the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and starts being a predatory force of nature. This brings us to the logic of the villains. Characters like Scorpion or Tombstone aren't just there for fan service. They represent the physical toll of the street. Scorpion is the manifestation of Peter's past mistakes coming back with sharper sting. Tombstone represents the organized, cold reality of a city that Peter can't just web up and walk away from. In a world where Peter is isolated, these villains don't just threaten his life. They threaten his sanity. When you have no one to go home to, every punch you take feels a little bit heavier. Every scar lasts a little bit longer. If this breakdown is helping you see the future of the MCU differently, make sure to subscribe and join the community. We're looking at the logic of the mutant saga and the path to Secret Wars every single week. The most painful element of Brand New Day isn't the action, it's the restraint. Imagine standing 5 feet away from the person you love more than anything. They look at you, they see a stranger. The logic of Peter's sacrifice in No Way Home demands that he stays away, because the moment he re-enters their lives, he puts the target back on their backs. Watching Peter watch MJ is the emotional core of this film. He has to choose every single day to remain a ghost. That's not a hero's journey. That's a martyr's existence. And that is exactly why the MCU needs this movie right now. We are entering an era of the MCU defined by identity and mutation. The X-Men are on the horizon. The world is becoming more afraid of those with power. Spider-Man is the perfect bridge for this shift. He is the everyman hero who is losing his everyman status. If the public starts to see Spider-Man as a cold, distant vigilante rather than a neighborhood hero, it sets the stage for the anti-hero/anti-mutant sentiment that will define the next 5 years of storytelling. Spider-Man isn't just a mascot anymore. In Brand New Day, he is a warning. So, when the trailer finally drops, I want you to look past cameos. Look past the new suit. Watch the framing of the shots. Notice how often Peter is alone in the frame. Notice the lack of music in his civilian scenes. Notice the distance between him and every other character. Tone tells the truth long before the dialogue does. Spider-Man, Brand New Day isn't about redemption. It's about endurance. It's about what happens when you take everything away from the most human hero in the world and see what's left. And the answer to that question might be the most important story Marvel has ever told. If you think this direction is what the character needs to stay relevant, let me know in the comments. Is an isolated Spider-Man the best version, or are we losing what makes him special? Don't forget to subscribe to CineLogic for more deep dives into the narrative systems of the MCU. I'll see you in the next one.